Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Inside the Foul podcast brings you the opinions and perspectives of a couple best friends. And if you don't like that call, we've got 3 words for you. You're out of here. We are your hosts this week, diving deep into the unimaginable because sometimes that is just the way fantasy rolls. Chris and Ethan.
How's second place treat you?
Hey. My record's still better than you, so put me in your division and I'll still be leading. Try me with some other stuff.
You didn't want to be with me. You picked your people, and your people are upset.
Well, the people that I thought were in my division were going to be more competitive, and I'm sorry, Watson. I'm sorry.
Poor Watson.
But, guys, this week we're going to talk about fantasy. We're going to talk about some fun. But baseball it's always been a game of dreaming, okay? As kids, we dreamed about hitting walk-off home runs, throwing the final strike of a championship game, hearing our names announced over the bright lights. But somewhere along the line, baseball fans found a way to live out their dreams. Not on the field, in the front office, okay? Fantasy baseball gives every fan a chance to be the GM, the scout, the manager, and sometimes the genius, or in Chris's case, the villain, or their own baseball universe, however you want to play it out. Every waiver wire pickup feels like discovering the next player. Every trade can change the course of the season. Every Monday morning can either feel like winning the World Series or getting swept in the playoffs. Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of fantasy baseball, the strategy, the heartbreak, the sleeper picks, the can't-miss prospects, and the lessons that separate championship contenders from the teams already planning for the year. So grab your lineup card, check those injury reports one more time, and get ready to talk fantasy baseball. This is Inside the Foul podcast, and this week, guys, we are talking with one of the other fantasy players in our league, James Markham. He's been a strong supporter of our podcast for a while, so we decided that we wanted an extra voice for fantasy this week. So, James, thank you for joining us. We're going to be talking fantasy baseball this week.
All right, sounds good.
So, have you played fantasy baseball before?
I played in middle school for a little bit. That would have been the Ken Griffey era, steroid city. But then I kind of fell off, and I don't know why I never picked it back up until recently. But when you guys started talking about it last year, I was like, yeah, that sounds like something I absolutely want to do.
Blast, for sure.
Honestly, it's more annoying than fantasy football. I did fantasy football before this, and
so much more complicated.
Every day you have to set the lineup. Every day. It's not just set it on Thursday and you're good for the weekend. No, every stinking day.
Listen, I think I reset my lineup about 4 times a day.
I mean, and then you got people who love to live on the waiver wires.
Oh, okay. Listen, that man is very strategic at 6 a.m., okay? If I didn't know better, I think he stalks it at 6 a.m. just to let us all know he's awake.
I will say, I get like 5 notifications. Dropped a player, picked up a player.
Well, James, I do have a question. Your team, I feel like your team is young gun heavy. Was there a strategy to young guns? Because I feel like if they're a young gun, they're on your team.
So a little bit's of luck, catching the waivers early after the draft. A little bit is I find that people who play fantasy for a while kind of trust name brands. You know the big names, your Skeens, your Mizorowski. But if a younger player has an early breakout, sometimes players are a little more hesitant to pick that guy up until he has 3, 4, 5 really solid games. And my game plan in football as well is like, all right, this guy had I have like 3 or 4 slots on my bench. All right, well, this guy had like 1 good game. Let's pick him up and dump somebody who's doing nothing for my team. And then I can hold on to him for a little bit. And then if he does perform, low risk, I put like the Jordan Walker pickup or some of the other ones I got earlier this season. Just like off the waivers. This guy pitched 1 good game. All right, it's worth a shot. I'll dump a relief pitcher who's gotten 2 or 3 points a game, So I've been trying to aggressively find the talent that hasn't been picked up, and I think in this point in the season, everybody's scraped the barrel for talent, and the waivers are pretty thin.
I will say, I went looking for a shortstop, and unfortunately, he was already claimed by your team. Win from St. Louis. Yes, because like I had 2 injuries at shortstop. I was like, there's someone hidden, and I haven't been talking about this person to even you. And I went to look, and I'm like, you can trade for him. I'm like, who? And I'm like, oh, okay. Then I looked at your team, and I was like, oh, if I need a young player, I'm just gonna submit like 4,000 trades.
Yeah, Lindor went down with an injury, I think like 4 weeks ago. I was thin on shortstop as well, and I was like, man, I need somebody. And I kind of, was analyzing the teams and the batting averages, and he looked like a strong option, and he's done pretty well so far.
I will say the biggest gamble I've had this season was picking up Travis Bazzana. I love Bazzana, thought he was great, and then he didn't get activated immediately, so I was a little disappointed. But then when I was able to pick him up off the waivers, he's salty because I beat him to it.
Yes. Yes.
But the biggest gamble, and he's actually done rather well, batting .276 right now. Like, Bazzana's solid.
The salt that opened that wound, okay? Listen, I got up going, who's got Travis? Because I need someone that can just play till Jacob Wilson gets healthy. And then I was like, oh, this person's gone, this person's gone. Yeah.
So we've got some fantasy stock market ideas, right? Some buy low players.
Sure.
Right now, like one of the biggest, buy low players is Fernando Tatis, right? He doesn't have any home runs early, didn't put up a bunch of numbers, so his value's gone down a little, but he's still a hard hit guy. He's consistently on the field, normally plays 150 games, and he's still stealing bases. So when you're thinking about guys that are buy low players, who do you think about, and what is someone like that worth to you? Someone like a Tatis?
Yeah, that's kind of the interesting thing, because like he's had such good seasons, you expect some sort of positive regression to happen. Kind of like a few different players this year, actually, where sort of the stature of their previous season, you expect 10, 15 points a game sometimes, but I don't know. Right now, there seems to be like Vladdy's struggling, Tatis is kind of struggling. It seems like a lot of these players are having a negative regression right now, and I don't know. I'm more hesitant on trying to buy those guys right now because I'm just not seeing like the team support or the personal support. But I think someone like Lindor, if he's getting dumped on the IL or someone like that, might be. I don't know. I value them very lowly. If I haven't seen like Tatis with his like 1 homer so far this year, that scares me. Like I'm much more conservative on a guy like that because whoever's going to trade him, or if you're trying to put a package together, I feel like someone's going to want more than you're going to want to give.
It's normally this guy. If he has someone, and trading with Chris is a very challenging thing to do. Don't get me wrong. I've already traded with Chris this season, and it's normally some wheeling and dealing, sitting on the phone for a little bit, and it's a pain because Chris values these guys a lot higher. And don't get me wrong, any guy would if you're trying to get value out of players, but like you mentioned it earlier. We've got 12 guys in this league. This is our first year, 12 guys playing fantasy this year. Last year we did it with 10. So there's been value in the waivers. There's really not much out there in the way of decent value. Like, Wyatt Langford's in our waiver wires.
Injured.
And, most of them are injured. Like, the next best one I think is a catcher. No, somebody picked him up. I was gonna say the Mets catcher, but that's been the problem. But would you trade a top 25 player for someone who's not performing that well right now, but they have the ability to perform?
I think if you're weak at that position, maybe, you can sort of take the bet on it. I'm just so hesitant to pick up any player of I hate to say old, but like above 27 or 28, if they're struggling to perform, it seems like to me it's just they're having a weak season and it's going to be the rest of the way. Not everyone can be like, a second half all-star consistently every year. So I don't know. I'm more of that too, of like, I don't want to give up anything for a guy who's not shown highlights at least.
Yeah.
Here's my take on Tatis. I wouldn't touch him with a top 40 player.
Top 40 player?
Well, because here's my problem. Look at my outfield. I have James Wood, Kyle Tucker, Chuck.
Yeah.
And I have Dubon.
So how much does name value really affect these fantasy trades then, you think?
It depends who I'm dealing with.
That's it. I don't value name at all, but a lot of people do,
And see, and that's the thing is like, so unless they are an established player who we know we're going to get, honestly, even Ohtani's given Chris some problems this season. He'll do great pitching, but hitting, he can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Nope.
Like, he'll have a good game, go off. I think that's been my biggest issue with Austin Riley. So I traded with Chris earlier in the season, got Austin Riley, got another pitcher I needed. Nothing crazy. I didn't mind the trade. Austin Riley's not consistent, hasn't been consistent. Does he have flashes? Absolutely. But that's normally when I play Arenado, and then I'd have 27 points sitting on my bench.
But for our listeners and James, why did you get Austin Riley?
Oh, Chris. Okay, this is fun. So Chris learned late last season. Chris is a huge Braves fan, as you can tell by his jersey he wears every podcast, or another Braves hat from the wall of hats. Is the fact that he would draft 3, 4, 5 of them. You could tell who was the Braves fan. Until last season when he started trading them away and they started performing after he gets rid of them. So the juju for him is, if he wants his team to win, they can't be on his fantasy team.
Yeah. So I'm superstitious. Like, if the Braves, to our listeners, I'm really bad. Like, if the Braves are winning, like, Dubon will only play in the lineup if someone is not playing that day. But Dubon's not a starter. Like, I had Riley. Braves started losing. So I had to ship Riley away so the Braves could start winning. Like last year, I had Ronald. Braves were cold. I had to get rid of Ronald. We started winning finally. So it's all about the juju with my team. Like, you can't disturb it. Like, I want Drake Baldwin, but I'm afraid to have Drake Baldwin. Like, I have 0 Braves pitchers. Except Dylan Lee. But Dylan Lee, somehow, if he's on my team, he does good. So I don't know what I'm doing with these guys. I'm like kryptonite to them. Thank God I never had Chipper.
So, given the way that our teams are currently built, I want to know from each of you, who is one, maybe 2 players that you would add right now that you feel, if they were sitting on the waiver wire, doesn't matter who it is, that could actually benefit your team?
Anybody, huh?
Anybody.
I'll take a healthy catcher.
A healthy catcher, huh?
Because I don't know how Dylan Dingler can hold on much longer as the only healthy catcher on my team.
I mean, he's hanging on there, barely.
And I'll take a healthy pitcher. I need one of those.
So okay, catcher wise, who would you go out and get?
See, part of me wants Will Smith from the Evil Empire, because maybe I can affect the Dodgers. But he's consistent. Kirk's injured, so I can't pick Kirk. I wanted Mac, but somebody already has Mac with the Marlins. So I'd probably say Will Smith. Just
Will Smith.
Because he's going to get at least 3 RBI chances a game.
And pitcher?
I hate to say this in front of the Brewers fan, but I need Jacob on my team. Like, you have Jacob.
I do. I have Jacob and I have Skeens.
Ooh.
I will say, I don't know how I lucked out with my pitching staff. I don't.
I don't either. I think
I got Michael King. I've got Rodon. I've got Schlittler. I've got.
You drafted heavy pitchers right away.
But that's the thing. So here's one thing I learned last year playing fantasy. That's how I won the championship last year. Lean on your starters. Yes, pay attention to how many starters you can start, but lean on your starters. Is where most of your points are going to come from. You get a quality starter, that's where it's going to be. Yes, because a lot of the teams that I've beaten this year so far, most of my points came off starters because then I got like 5 guys in my starting line that went negative.
Yeah, you only beat me by like 5 points because I did not play James Wood. I'm curious about James's answer because his team, like he said, he only looks for people 25 and younger. So I'm curious what his pick would be.
Right now, because of the Cubs slide, I kind of want to replace second base Nico Horner. He was doing really good at the beginning of the season, but like the whole Cubs have just slid way down. I don't know who
18 of their 24.
Yeah. I mean, as a Brewers fan, I'm happy, but as a Nico Horner owner, it's been rough to watch like 2 or 3 points every night he plays.
This is great. I'm looking at my people on age-wise to see if I get Nico Horner now. I need a second baseman.
I think the other position, if I could choose like a top level player, would be shortstop. Wynn's been good, but when I drafted Lindor, it was kind of a higher pick, and him getting injured was kind of a blow to the team. So I think the middle infield there, I would probably replace. Like my outfield is really strong. I got Shea Langoliers behind the plate.
Okay.
My pitching staff is pretty good now that Shota Imanaga is getting positive points. But I don't know who I'd get. I'd say Bryce Trang for the defense, but you don't get any points for that.
Yeah. That's the only thing is I wish there was a way to get defensive points.
That's the thing.
Okay, would you take a 27-year-old outfielder? Okay, he's close. He plays for the Brewers. Okay.
I have so many outfielders. My team is mostly outfielders if you look at it.
Hold on. What is McLean? How old are you, sir? 26. Okay, he's 26. I have Matt McLean. I'll trade you for him for Nico Horner. This is a live fantasy trade that might go down right now.
Let's see, what? Xavier Edwards is like the number 1 shortstop second baseman by points?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. T-Roy Jenkins has got that. But, yeah, I think if I was going to improve my team, those are the 2 positions I would shoot for higher, because...
I will say, as much as I talk crap about this particular player, I don't need him. There's a certain shortstop that I saw earlier while I was surfing the waiver wire who has actually been pretty good. Anthony Volpe. As much as it pains me to say that out loud, yep, see? There it is.
He's dying, chat. He's dying.
He's played really well offensively. Yes, the defensive errors are a little annoying, but the defensive errors don't hurt you in fantasy.
No,
right.
No.
So there is some shortstops out there, but it is a little few and far in between. So if you had to buy high for either of these 2 players, Ketel Marte or Juan Soto, okay, because you got to think with Ketel Marte, he's 9 times out of 10 undervalued. He's a consistent, get on base. You're going to get some points out of him. Continues to give you good numbers out of him. And then you've got Soto, who's finally figured it out. I don't know what it is with him and starting slow every year. But the trade cost would be rather high for either of those 2. Who would you want to go for and why?
I think Marte, because I think it would cost me less to get him and maybe similar kind of output.
I think that would probably be the safer bet. And honestly, because Soto, too many days where he strikes out. At least Marte is going to try to put it in play. He's not going to strike out as much. Because once you get 2-3 strikeouts, your players start to get negatively affected point-wise. And that's just not fair. Not fun.
Yeah, he's a real swing, like 0 or 25 sort of day.
Yes, exactly.
I can't handle that kind of stress.
I wouldn't touch any Mets players right now with a pole.
I don't know that I'd touch any Mets, but same thing James just said. I don't think I'd touch any Cubs right now either.
Hold on, PCA went off last night. Home run.
He still got beat
Hey.
by Shea Langoliers, who hit 2
And
just the other night.
And you know why Shane Langolier so well? Who drafted him?
Who drafted him?
The Braves, and we traded him for
Who'd you trade for?
Matt Olson.
Yeah.
We could have kept him and Drake Baldwin as our 1-2 combination.
How's Olson doing for you guys?
He's been hitting dangers, but he's still no Freddie, so I don't want him. I think I'm the only Matt Olson still hater out there in the world.
So before the podcast, Chris posed a question to me that I kind of wanted to see if, what your thoughts were. If you had to build a team around Soto or Judge, who and why?
And it's a keeper player, so you have to keep them going forward for the next 4 years of your league. Because we get to keep 2 players in this league going forward every year.
I think Judge, I would go with. He's had a little bit of injury like last year and right now, this year. But I think overall, like, he plays the outfield pretty well. He's got some of the best bat in the league year over year. Soto has those real hot and cold streaks, and I don't know. It doesn't seem as solid.
And while that was my initial thought, my only problem with that is age. Judge is 30 or 31, and Soto's like 25. So, yes. So you got to think Soto won the World Series with the Nationals at like 22.
Oh, 21.
21?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was young, real young. So you got more longevity out of Soto, because Judge, realistically, should probably only play another 3 years. He'll probably play another 5 because of who he plays for. But Soto's got at least another 10 or more.
That's true. It's a good point.
So as much as I don't like to say it, if I had to build it out of no fandom, just competitiveness, I would probably go more for the Judge or for the Soto just for the upside.
Can I pass my pick and not have to take either one?
Okay, fine. I'm going to pose you one. Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
Paul Skeens or Yamamoto?
Yamamoto.
Is that based on talent?
Yes. Talent and likable.
Likable?
Like, I don't think
what do you not like about Paul Skeens? Other than the fact he went to LSU and beat up on the Gators.
Nope, the exact reason. I could have had a college World Series. Okay. But Paul Skeens and damn Dylan Cruz. Okay. So I got a question for James. If you had to pick 2 Brewers, 1 pitcher, 1 fielder, who do you pick to build a fantasy team around? Because pitcher is obvious, but hitting is where I'm going to feel like this might surprise some people.
Fielder. I think Contreras.
Ooh, okay.
Contreras and Mizorowski, I think, was where I would start.
Okay.
So, curious why Contreras over guys like Terang, and Yelich and all that still on the field.
They're still very good players. He's got a good bat. He's got good defense. He misses very few games. He's in there almost every game. It's just consistent. That's kind of a thing I look for in players a lot, is just like a really consistent player.
Okay.
I've noticed.
I don't know if it's the right strategy.
I've noticed something. All his catchers that he loves used to be Braves. I'm starting to see something here.
You guys just like to churn out catchers. That's what it is.
Apparently, you train them up and just send them out.
No. They they work with Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy's the reason their catchers are good. That's why Sean Murphy sucks. It's because he's given out all his wisdom to everybody else, and he can't do it for himself anymore.
He does that because I like Sean Murphy. I wish we would have never traded for Sean Murphy. Because can you imagine Williams Contreras and Drake Baldwin?
Yes.
Because we could have traded Drake Baldwin and kept Shane Lear and Contreras and talk about that leadership.
Valid. So, who's the biggest fantasy trap heading into June? Because right now we're going into the last month before the All-Star break. We're seeing a lot of teams get cold right now, and we're seeing those mid-season injuries pop up with everybody. Like, I've got 6 guys on my fantasy team that are currently on the IL, and I think all but 2 of them are on 60-day ILs.
So do you want it to be from my team or a player? Not on my team. Because I have someone that I'm worried about on my team.
Well, who are you worried about on your team?
Kyle Tucker.
He's been cold all year.
Yes, but now you're getting into the playoff time where you got to pull away if you're the Dodgers. You don't want to keep it close.
I could agree with that.
Or I would say Ohtani, because you can't hit the broadside of a barn, but you can pitch. Pitching's not going to win me a championship. I need home runs too.
Does Ohtani go full-time PO?
I don't think he wants to, but maybe he should.
I mean, seeing the lack of production from him offensively, and people have figured out now how to pitch to Ohtani to keep it out of his home run swing.
Here's my counterpoint to that. Is he worth the money you pay him just to be a pitcher?
Ooh, that's a valid point.
Because if I'm paying him just to be a pitcher, why am I offering him that much money? That'd be like Paul Skeens when his contract's up. Do we pay him that much money just to be... Or when Jacob's contract's up, do y'all really pay him that much money just to be a pitcher?
Okay, here's the question, because you've got those 3. You've got Skeens, Miz, and Scoob.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Out of those 3, 2 of them are guaranteed not to be with their team anymore. The only team I think could keep their player would be the Brewers with Miz, because they're the only team that I could see actually going out and spending the money to keep him.
Well, I'm going to have to defer that to the Brewer fan, because I hardly see them pay people a lot of money.
That's a concern I have, yeah. His last season, he might go somewhere else, but I'm hoping they'll maybe give him an extension before he hits arbitration and try and get a few more out of him. I don't know if it'll work. If he keeps pitching this way, he might just bet on himself and find somewhere else, unfortunately. But we also have Kyle Harrison, who's pitching out of his mind right now, so...
Yeah.
There is other talent the Brewers may just try and lean on.
Kyle Harris was a waiver wonderful gem pickup.
Was it?
Yes.
Is that who you have?
Yes. He's great.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great grab right there.
So are there any big name players that you guys are actively trying to shop and maybe figure out how to get on your teams now?
I'm not looking at anything right now because I don't know if anybody's going to trade for a reasonable amount.
That's valid.
It depends who's available. I'm always down for trades. I have a problem.
You know what they need on this fantasy thing is a trade board. If there's players you're interested or willing to trade.
So you can. I'll have to tell you how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can.
I was going to say, because I haven't found a trade board.
So, if I go to your team, hold on.
I know there's certain, your keepers are locked regardless. You can't trade them at all.
See, I'm interested who he's going to keep. Why show you how to do this.
Yeah, that's a good question. Going into next season, because, I'm hoping you'll play with us again next year. Who would you want to keep from your current team?
Oh, that's rough. I got a lot of good outfielders. I think I'd probably keep Shea Langoliers.
Okay.
And maybe O'Neal Cruz if things keep going well. He's had a really good season.
No keepers on the pitchers?
Oh, man, I didn't even think about pitchers. Shoot.
See, because that was my problem last year, was going into who I wanted to keep for pitching. Because I had too many. I had Fried, I had Skeens, and I had Judge. And I'm like, okay, out of these three, who am I not going to keep? And I didn't get to keep Fried.
I kept the two smartest people to keep. I kept Otani and Yamamoto.
Well, yeah.
Smart choice.
Yeah.
See, because my problem this year becomes the pitching becomes my biggest question. Okay, because I want to keep Judge. Okay, I want to, but at the same time, I have all these pitchers. I have a strong rotation of pitchers, and I don't know that I want to give up any of them. Again, Jacob Mizorowski, Cam Schlittler, Paul Skeens.
See, this
just to name a couple of them.
See, this is why we only keep 2 players. Because if we kept more,
it becomes uncompetitive.
Yes.
And then everybody gets a dynasty team.
I think you should not keep Judge.
Depending on how this injury season goes the rest of the year, it might change. But again, I don't know what this season's going to look like.
Because then you have to come up with a new team name.
Hey, the Judge's Chambers is a good name.
There.
I think
this
if
is
I
also my first year having Judge.
Yeah.
So.
If I kept a pitcher, I think it would have to be Robleski.
Ooh, okay. So that's a question. I don't know how I feel about that, because Robleski, I watched him last night pitching against who'd the Dodgers play last night? Was it the A's? I think it was the A's. No, it was Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks.
Yes.
And Robleski pitched. Robleski's good, but he gives up soft contact that makes the plays in the defense a lot harder, which can be good, can be bad. But like last night, I don't think he gave up too many runs. He only gave up like 2, but it didn't hurt. But long term, I don't know. That's it's not one I would think of off the top of my head. But it's not a bad choice.
If we had to make the decision right now at this point in the season, it seems like he's progressing well, and I trust the team to kind of back him up on defense for those soft contact ones.
Yeah.
He's got an all-star team behind him, so I trust it.
So, I like this little segment you got here, Chris.
Oh.
The stash before the call-up.
Yes.
Because that's what I did with Bazana.
Yes.
And that's one of the names you've got on this list. The other one, Colt Emerson.
Yes.
Why?
J.P. Crawford's a free agent next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's guaranteed to probably be the day 1 opening day starter next year, because Brendan Donovan's been up and down hurt. So, the real question is, would you keep him over a veteran? Because here's my thing, Travis Bazana going forward. You could keep Travis.
Yes.
Deadly weapon, but the problem is, do you see that being a long-term deal?
I mean, Bazana's only coming up. This is his first year. Emerson, this is his first year.
Oh, you can't even. Brock's got Colt.
Oh, Brock's got Colt Emerson now?
Yeah.
I was looking at him the other day. Yep.
So I'm going to add someone on the list right now, because he's technically a prospect. But the Giants DH that just came up, he's on the waiver wires. Hold on.
See, he's going to give me ideas now.
But this is what I do all day long with this.
But as someone who has a very young team in general, what are you looking for when you're looking at these young guys and their upside to be able to stash?
Well, the ability to play. So, like, is there a position open and gonna stay open? Because, like, I kind of bet on Schumann in New York, because I figured Volpe would be down for a while. Schumann, there was a chance he'd be an everyday or every other day kind of player, and that just never panned out, unfortunately. But it was kind of like, all right, do they have talent? Do they put up some numbers in, double or triple A, wherever they were playing? and what is everyone ranking them on the top 100? So I'm kind of factoring in all those, and it's really the day-to-day playing, though. If you pick up a guy who only plays twice a week or once a week, maybe next year.
See, I felt bad because I literally sent you a message going, I think he's going to play, and then I said, but let me get with the Yankee expert, and he's like, he should be playing, but I don't know why he's not playing.
Right.
Well, so the biggest problem I have with New York in general is we've got those guys. We've got before Dominguez got hurt, he was playing. Then Spencer Jones got sent down. Then Schumann was called up briefly because of the infield injuries. And so we're seeing that, but they always go back to their same tried and true, which isn't a bad thing, but it hasn't wholeheartedly worked up to this point. So why do we keep going back to that when you've got guys that could produce and could show you more actual talent and points to win games? Because it's not a hitting contest, it's a scoring contest. The whole point of the game is to outscore your opponent. Doesn't matter if you out hit them. Doesn't matter. We can out hit them all day long, but if you don't put guys in the position to score, and that's what I liked about Schumann, is he could do both. He could give you a home run or he could give you the base hit. I don't really see that out of the other guys. I don't see that out of the Dominguez's and the Spencer Jones. Those guys are all home run or bust. And I'd like to see a little more contact hitting for once.
Live by the home run, die by the home run.
Yeah, we're dying by it. I'll tell you that.
Bryce Eldridge is on the waiver wire right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He's the 22nd overall DH. He's averaged. This is what gets me. I'm trying to debate, but I have Ohtani, so what's the point of having another DH? These are his last 8 games. 4 points, 13 points, 3 points, 5 points, 2 points, 28 points.
Wow.
10 points, 12 points. He averages, you ready for this? 4.3 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been up on people's rosters 1.2% being added.
Okay.
And he's batting .292. So if you need a DH, Bryce Eldridge is out there. But do you risk it?
I don't need a DH.
Who's your DH?
It depends on the day because it's either Freddie or it's Arenado or it's Riley. It just depends on the day. Whoever's got the better matchup.
Well, he's out there in the NL West. He could help you. Or James might pick him up because he's only 23.
That's my problem with DH, though. Like, if they're only DH, you're kind of limited to, like, that guy. Like, I picked up Ballesteros from the Cubs because he was hitting hot there for a minute, and I just never really was able to use him because it's like, well, Jose Ramirez is going off. I'm going to stick him there because I have another third baseman that I also want in that position. And so he just kind of rotted on my bench, and I dropped him the other day finally because I realized he was never getting played. But, I mean, if the guy's putting up crazy numbers like 28 points here and there, might be worth it, but yeah, it's hard to say.
I will say, I think you have the best duo for third basemen in the fantasy league. And I'm kind of low-key jealous.
Why?
Have you ever looked at his third baseman?
No.
It's a dream. It's Jose Ramirez and don't you have Junior Caminero too?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so see, you have the Jose Ramirez.
Yes, he has the duo. And that's why when he went off this week against the Yankees, I'm like, thank God I'm not playing.
Oh, I know.
So, going into the next couple weeks of fantasy, who are you guys, schedule-wise, most concerned with opponent-wise? Because for me, next week, I play the leader of my division. So that game's a must-win for me to put it back where I can be tied for first again. Or if I lose, I got to battle back to first.
So, unfortunately, next week, I'm going to have to put down a friend like Old Yeller. Okay? I have to play Watson, and his team's already injured, so it's like...
So, a little backstory for those that don't know. Last year, myself and Chris Watson made it to the finals, and I beat him in the finals.
Yes, for the first time ever.
And I wanted him in my division this year because he beat me all last year. I couldn't beat him in the regular season, and then I beat him in the championship. Then this year he's like 2-8 right now.
Yeah.
Poor guy has had a rough season.
So, funny story to James, you'll laugh at. Me and Watson are best friends. We have been playing fantasy baseball together for the last 16 years. And what's funny is he's only ever beat me the first year. And now he's like, he'll text me and goes, we play each other next week. Can we just skip this week? Because it's not even going to be fun for me finally. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, my team's injured. I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm not even excited to put him down. Like, I'm like, I feel bad beating him, but I need to beat him because I only have a 2-game lead. I need to keep winning. But I need to keep my lead up because I'm more worried about this man on the podcast than I am anyone else.
I don't know.
Because if his team stays healthy, he doesn't have a lot of injuries right now.
True.
If you look at James's team, he has the least amount of injuries out of all of us.
Do you really? You don't have anybody on your IL?
No, I have 2.
Yeah.
I've got like 6.
There's 4 people with 6, 3 people with 5, and he's the one with the least amount of injuries. And he scares me the most because his team is staying healthy. And I hate to say it, the young gun mentality could come back to bite me if he catches me. Because I have an injury-frilled starting rotation right now with Free, Dylan Cease, Hunter Brown.
Yeah. See, your entire division. So I'm going to pull up the division real quick because your entire division bothers me. Your entire division. When we talked about this at the beginning of the year, we were talking about trying to set up the divisions to be competitive and strong because the last couple years, Chris's division is a cakewalk every year.
Yes, and I don't understand why.
Like, he gets to walk away in first place, coast there after 3 weeks, and stays there all year.
And it's never planned that way.
But me, I got to fight for first place in my division every year.
Yes, the first time we did the podcast league last year, we strategically put a bunch of tough people in my division. Well, and I put Watson in your division thinking, okay, it would help. Well, if I would have kept Watson, I would have had one other competitive person besides me. This year, we went down to the T for like 2 weeks. And we were like moving people, and I was like, I'll take Ball Glove Fun because he's in the NL with me. I'll take him. And he's like, sure. And he's like, I'll take this guy. Well, apparently, I will say Watson did destroy you with one competitive team because you would be fully competitive. Now, the 2 people that in my league, I wish I could reach out and help. One loves the waiver wire, and one, I don't know if he remembered he has a league.
My thing is, okay, so we did this. So we have a person in our group who loves to pick up and drop pitchers every day. So that by Wednesday or Thursday, he is maxed out on starters. Can't get any more points from his starters because we allow, 18 or 20 starters 19. In a week. Okay, that keeps the competitive nature. Because we had a guy a couple years back who only picked up pitchers, would pick up a pitcher every day. If they were starting, they were on his team. He ended up competing and making it to the finals because he was picking up and dropping pitchers every day.
He scored 1,000 points 1 week because he literally was picking up pitchers. So that's why there's a rule. To our listeners, I had to make a rule because I was like, there's no way you score 1,000 points when at most I'm scoring 600.
Yeah.
He picked up every starting pitcher every other day that was pitching. And at one point I was like, okay, this isn't fair because one guy is only picking up players. I'm only picking up players.
Yep.
Because I love the pitchers I had, but I was like, I don't want to drop them because you're going to pick them up and then I'm going to go try to get them and they're going to be gone. So I had to make a rule of 19 starting pitchers in a week that could start because that's 2 starts per pitcher almost. Mm-hmm. And we have 40-man rosters. That's the cool thing about our league. Because I'm in other leagues, and I'm going to be honest, I hate those leagues because I don't have enough bench room to do anything. Like, my IL is filled, but I can't add anyone else because my roster's full. And so, because people were like, why do you have 40 people? I'm like, it makes it fun because you have a 40-man roster in MLB. Why not have 40 men? Mm-hmm. And all you got to do is pick up some relief pitchers. Now, I will say, I've been debating on opening it up to where we keep 3 people, but I feel like that takes away the competitive fun.
Yeah.
Because especially, no offense, your team.
What's wrong with my team?
You could literally keep Skeens, Jacob Mikulowski, and one other pitcher and just say, okay.
I win. Yeah. Yeah.
Where, like, if I keep Yamamoto and Ohtani.
No, I like the 2-keeper system. I like the 2-keeper system because.
Now, I think we should add. And I will say, I'm going to call. If this rule goes into effect, we're calling it the James rule. I think you should be able to keep 3 people, but one of them has to be under the age of 24.
What?
So you keep a prospect. Because I think that is great. Because here's the thing.
Well, then I got my 3rd keeper then. I'm good.
I was hoping you'd forget about that and, like, oops, him. Because how cool would that be to keep a prospect constantly on your team?
That'd be cool.
That you never know what's going to happen. And I'm be honest, I literally came up with that when he's like, I only look at people a certain age. And I'm like, that's a great rule to have a keeper that you have to keep one under 20.
Well, the other thing is, and that's probably how, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, because you're picking up guys that are 25 and up or younger players, they don't get injured as often. So that's one of the big reasons he's not seeing injury bugs either. Young players, they don't break as easy.
Yeah. Trust me, as an old guy, trust me, I'm right there with them.
But to put it in perspective really quick, I know Chris posted the division standings on our Instagram not too long ago, but in your division, you know you are the only player over 500.
I can't.
You were no. The only one out of 6 in your division. Hold on, I'm gonna point something out. In my division, which James is in the same division, there's only 2 that are below 500. The rest of us are 556, 667, 778, and 889. You know, there is a 3-way tie for second place in your division with 444 with Chris.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to grab your phone for a minute. Okay, in my defense, I had to give up James to take Brock. Because Pete and Brock didn't want to be in the same division because they wanted to meet each other in the postseason. Critter Getter and Chicks Dig the Long Ball work together. They wanted to not be in the same division. So, unfortunately, I had to take these people. Okay? And, okay, the 3 people 4 and 5, let's be real. Brock has a bunch of injuries. Cushman, I got to tip my hat because the first year we did this, Cushman went from last to finishing 3rd place to now in 2nd place in the division. So I got to tip my hat to Cushman.
I'm just saying we could move James to your division, and you realize he's in 2nd place.
James, would you like to join the NL division next year?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Welcome to the NL, where we don't have to deal with the bully.
Bully? What are you talking about? I'm fighting for my life.
You got Paul Skeens, your bully.
Listen, T-Roy Jenkins over here.
Yeah, how are you going to beat him? Let's talk about that next week.
I don't know that I'm going to have to. I just looked at the scores right now. Mm-hmm. He's currently only winning by 8.
To who?
He's only currently winning by 8. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second what the score is.
I only look at certain people, and I haven't looked at your matchup this week because I didn't want to.
You know who I'm playing.
I didn't want to look at his matchup because I.
Ooh. Hold up. James is actually tied right now.
To who?
to Chicks Dig the Long Ball, to Papa Rupert.
I hope you win, sir. Because
I'm trying.
Because right now.
But do you see why his team is so scary now?
Yeah.
When you look at him on a matchup, you're like, oh, they're one like.
Because right now Cushman is trailing T-Roy Jenkins by 8, 220 to 228.
I'm coaching Cushman along the way. Okay, that's why I haven't looked at it because I've been like, hey, you should move this one. You should move this one. I've almost tempted to like, hey, need a player or two. Like, yeah.
So We got a few rapid fire questions we're gonna see.
I'm gonna ask these to both of you. We'll let James go first because I feel like him being a supporter of the Young Gun Nation, like I am. When we started the podcast, I got picked on for being the Young Gun supporter.
Okay.
Who do you think's gonna win the league?
Judge's Chambers is looking pretty good right now, unfortunately.
Taking applications for a new co-host. The biggest bust you've seen in the league, player-wise.
Critter Getter's looking pretty rough.
Okay. Best waiver ad that you've added to your team.
Probably Jordan Walker.
Okay. Best buy low player with the lowest outcome right now that you could buy for.
Someone on the waivers that won't cost me anything?
Oh, see, I love all right.
Or are you talking trades?
Trades.
Oh. God, I don't even know. I haven't even looked at I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
You could maybe make a case for Judge right now.
Oh.
He's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Low.
Ooh,
So your team is
out.
Your team is in a good position right now, but outside of our league, if someone had Judge and they were struggling, you could maybe throw them a little bit, and maybe they would take it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I might whip up something because then I can just keep Judge and Ohtani going forward.
I can't trade you, Judge. He's my keeper. You can't trade your keeper.
Yes, you can.
It's
you only
always
keep him
showing
for
locked.
I'm
pretty sure it's locked. You can't trade your keeper.
Yeah, I don't think you can drop or trade.
Yeah.
Best bullpen target in the waiver wire that you would want.
That I've gotten?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, what's his name? I picked up Robleski the other day for nothing.
That's where he went. I'm starting to realize the people I want are all on his team now. I'm starting to see a pattern.
A pattern here, yeah.
Yeah. See, I feel like this is a great question for him. Rookies to stash away for next year.
Ooh. There's a couple of them. I was looking at Colt Emerson the other day, like we were talking about. But like a guy who's actually playing right now, I don't know. There's a few different players across a bunch of different teams. I don't know who the best one would be, though. That's a hard question.
I will say this year's made it very difficult going into Rookie of the Year because you've got some really good candidates for it this year.
Connor Griffin's looking great.
Why does he win it? When it's Connor Griffin? I'm going to tell you, I think he wins it.
This is not James Wood's
just popularity
rookie year, is it? Is it James Wood's rookie or is it last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he played the 60 games last year or not.
Yep.
Darn.
I just think Connor Griffin wins it. He's too popular not to win it. And there's no one else really in the NL to challenge him.
Bazana's bad. Well, Bazana's AL. Yeah.
What about Minataka and Murakami? I mean, he's a little injured right now, but if he comes back with that same bat he's had for the spring.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Since you bring that up, which one actually wins the AL? Because I feel like Murakami wins, but Okamoto makes a good argument.
I don't think Okamoto's anywhere near close to Rookie of the Year.
Can I tell you who I want to win Rookie of the Year just because his personality? The outfielder for the White Sox that wears Ichiro's number.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his name.
I have him on my team.
Oh, you picked him up?
Yep. Don't ask me how to say his last name, though. I gave up.
I will say someone who I thought was going to be good this year, Tatsuya Imai, has not done too hot for the Astros. They need to find their trash cans.
I got rid of my trash can by the desk. I can't kick it for him.
The curse of the Houston Astros has struck everyone.
Yes, and I'm so happy for it.
Players you're avoiding, James? The 26 and older guys?
It's really anybody like a Soto or a Judge, where if someone wants me to trade 2 or 3 solid players for one, I'm not interested in that. I don't think the return on investment is ever really there.
Yeah. That's my biggest thing is like trading in fantasy leagues. to get someone big, you're giving up a lot for someone who's not going to produce as many points as any of those three could on any given night.
Yep, 100%.
Because I've seen Judge give me -5 points because he goes 0 for 3, but yet Bazana, Arenado, and Kirk go off for 15 apiece. So it's kind of hard to gauge in fantasy, giving up the big players for the farm.
Right.
It depends. Is that player? Because I gave up the farm 3 years ago. The first time we did fantasy.
For who?
I gave up 10 players for Ohtani.
Oh, well, yeah, you did.
So the first year we did the baseball league, when it was just baseball coaches before we started the podcast, I gave up 10 players for Ohtani. But it won me the championship.
That was actually the one player I was thinking maybe you could trade and get some value of equal amounts or more, or greater.
Are you interested?
The only problem I have with Ohtani in fantasy is if you pitch him, you can't hit him.
Well, I will say why. They changed that rule because he would average you like 40 points a game when he was with the Angels. He would pitch, get you at least 20 points, then hit a home run and get like 3 RBIs. You're already at 40 for the night.
Good God. So
I will say I enjoy it better having a choice with Ohtani.
Okay.
Because if you're playing someone, like if that rule was in effect last week when I was playing you, he pitched, but he got a home run.
Yeah.
You got to think that's 10 more points because he got 2 RBIs that game with that home run. That's 10 more points. I don't lose by 8.
Fair.
I beat you by 2. And I will say it's a little more fair to baseball if Ohtani's just, you have to pick one. Because I've been in leagues where Ohtani, when he's hit 2 home runs and struck out 10, he's gotten 60 points, and you're like, oh, I don't have to, my opponent doesn't have to play anybody for the rest of the night.
You're not wrong. I just, it's there, so it's like, I want the points.
Oh, trust me, I would love the points. He would never leave utility. Just give me all the points. So, before we go, I want to talk about what you do on the side, sir. Because you have an interesting Instagram business, kind of. Because I feel like it's more of a fun hobby, even though it is a business. Because I watch your videos, and I will say, you make it look easy. And I've thought about relacing a glove, and I'm like, he makes it look so easy. Nope, I would rather throw this away and try and I'd just buy a new glove.
I don't have the patience.
Yeah. Okay, that is another. Okay. Before we get into it, how do you have the patience to do it? Because you do it so quickly that I feel like you don't even have your eyes open.
It took a few different gloves to get that knowledge and patience. What you don't see is sometimes like I'll be way into relacing a glove and then I'll look at it and I'm like, I missed a hole and I have to like pull it back out, start. It happens. A lot of gloves have like minute differences in the pattern year over year. So like there's a hole here on one of them and then on one that looks almost the same. It's not quite there. It's in a slightly different spot. And so, you're seeing the best of what I can do on Instagram and wherever you're watching.
Nice. So what is your favorite glove to work on?
Funny enough, we were talking before the podcast started. It's the 1791, the Pudge Rodriguez catcher's mitt.
Ooh.
Oh, you didn't get to see the glove. Okay, yeah.
I can pull it up quick here.
Yeah, I forgot that you weren't here before.
I've probably done 7 or 8 of these. I just finished it this morning, actually.
Okay.
It's a A2000. I think this is from the early 2000s. They still have the A2403 on here. Yep. Just a standard catcher's mitt, but these things, they made them so well that like even if they're beat up and broken when I start with them, they come out great and there's still years left in them.
That's my biggest thing is like the gloves in general. Like I at 30 years old have my dad's glove from when he was a kid, and that's the one that I use to play catch with my son now. So it it speaks to the longevity of these gloves if you take good care of them. But good Lord, these gloves go through some abuse.
Yeah.
So
Catcher's
have
mitts
you
more
ever
so.
gotten a glove you couldn't save?
There is one. My sister picked up one from a Goodwill recently. The hand stall where you put your palm is destroyed, like it's disintegrated, which is really strange because the rest of the glove is actually in pretty good condition. I can't do hand stall repairs because I don't have the machinery for it. It can be done, but yeah, that like I don't have the skills or knowledge to fix that. So it's sitting on my shelf. Maybe one day I'll get to it, but it's destroyed for now.
That's fair. So when you do these the glove, do you change the lacing colors regularly, or just try to go back to the original, or what?
If I can go back to the original, I try to do that most of the time. But if it's for like a customer, I just had a guy. He had a black and tan glove, and his kid wanted more black, so we replaced all the laces and put in all black laces, and we dyed the web that was tan to be black. And yeah, I've done like pink and blue on some, blue and red. A lot of kids' gloves, they want it as bright a colors as you can get. So I have a whole closet over here with bright colors and everything I can try and get a hold of.
See, that makes me want to go get a glove and just send it to him, just get dyed podcast colors. Like, see,
my son just bought himself a new glove. He saved up some money, whatever, and bought him a brand new glove. He went with the tan one with the blue laces on it. I'm like, why? You already have this glove. You need another one, another first baseman's glove. But he picked what he wanted, and that was cool. But it does, like, kids love to be flashy. They love to show the color. So, I mean, I'm with it.
Absolutely.
So, how did this start for you, fixing gloves and stuff like that?
It was kind of like with your dad. I got a hand-me-down catcher's mitt from my stepdad, and I was just, playing with it in the backyard, and one of the laces snapped in the web. I mean, it's an older glove, so he was catching semi-pro ball years and years ago, so I'm sure it had its mileage in. So I was like, oh man, there's got to be a way to. I didn't know anything about relacing. I was like, there's got to be a way to fix this, where I don't have to get a whole new glove. And so I looked it up, and I found that there's totally ways to do this, and it's not even terribly hard. So I bought a lacing needle and some leather lace, and I kind of took it apart, reverse engineered it, followed the pattern, and I was like, oh, that wasn't that hard. And then I kind of like, well, if I can do that, I could probably do another glove. So then I found an old, I think it's old Rawlings from the 50s. It was similar to a glove. I think we found it we lived next to a park when I was a kid, so like baseball gloves would just get left there periodically. And I think I found it there. It was beat all to hell, but it was flappy, so as a kid I really liked it. It was easy to close. So I found this glove on eBay that looked exactly the same. And I bought it, I took it all apart, I relaced it, and I was like, you get that childhood joy and excitement of a new glove, sort of.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, this is kind of therapeutic. It's kind of, it's enjoying the process and taking it apart. I've always liked to take apart and fix things, so it's really combining of two interests for me.
So how long does it take you to do a glove normally, to relace one?
Depends. First base mitts seem to take me the longest. There's a lot of lace on those, and they're just difficult typically. But I can get like a fielder's glove in like 2 to 3 hours, and then a catcher's mitt or first base mitt 3 to 4 hours, depending on how much work there is.
See, I kind of expected a catcher's glove to be the most difficult, only because of all the padding and everything.
A lot of people don't like catcher's mitts in the relacing world, but I really do. I've actually got like 4 of them here right now. I buy a lot of them, so I don't know. I just enjoy it. I don't know why everyone else doesn't like it, but
I can tell you why I don't enjoy it. I suck at it, and I don't have the patience. I tried to release one of your gloves, And then I gave it back to you because I was like, yeah, I can't do this.
I think I gave it to Rupert and never got it back from him.
Yeah.
But he was going to relace it for me. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
see, I don't have the patience to do it myself, and I could probably try it, but I just, it's not my thing. I'd rather go out there and throw a ball into it first.
I like that part too. But yeah, I totally understand that there's days when I've been very frustrated dealing with certain gloves.
I can imagine. Especially those ones that are real old and need to be conditioned, trying to make sure that they come back to some form of color.
Yeah, that catcher's mitt I just showed you, like the hand stall was so stiff it was like hard to close just because the leather had been dried out for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old bringing back to life catcher's gloves because those get beat up.
Listen, I used to put mink oil on my glove and just bake it.
You can do that.
You can. It'll work sometimes. But no, I really appreciate you coming on and talking to us about fantasy and giving us because so for those that don't know, we actually have been talking with James for months now with the podcast and everything, just being interested in what he does with the gloves. So I find it really cool with this podcast that we have made a lot of really good friends through all of this, and a lot of it, Chris and I used to say when we started this, we're just going to find our people. Yeah. We're going to find the people that love the game, love to talk about it, love to just have fun, and we're just going to find our people. And we have found that in a lot of this little community that we've built with the podcast. And I did want to say thank you for joining us and being part of that community and engaging with us regularly. It does mean a lot to us.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to watch and listen and interact with you guys all the time. It's a lot of fun for me too.
So, Chris, you have anything else?
I will say I'm waiting because he mentioned something with the gloves. I can't wait till he shows it in one of his videos. The glove dyeing, because I feel like that could be a fun disaster in the making. Because I feel like you have as a married person, my wife would be like, I'm going to dye this glove. Yeah, you're going to go out in the yard and don't bring any of that near the house. And I feel like that could be fun, but also chaotic too. Because you only have to dye one area. And knowing these gloves, how hard is it to get the dye to stick?
Well, once you touch the dye to something, it's on there. So it's your clothes or whatever. It's there permanently. So yeah, you got to be careful.
See, I'm so intrigued by that, but I also want no part of it.
Coming in with different color fingertips.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had some earlier this week.
Because I'm looking at the baseball glove up on the shelf, and I'm like, I hate the color of it. And now hearing the word that we could dye, and I'm like, I don't even want to know how that would go. Like, I hate that glove. Like, I really want to get it just to show people. It is the most hideous color glove ever.
Not that bad, Chris.
It is old people brown. This is old people brown, people. Okay? Like, yeah, and it still has the tag on it. That's the worst part. Okay? Because it didn't fit a kid that I bought it for. And that's why I get the glove color from. He's like, Coach, this glove looks like doo-doo brown. I'm like, thanks, man. Yeah.
Doo-doo brown, huh?
Yeah. And I'm like, now that he mentions that, I'm like, man, it'd be so cool if this glove was not doo-doo brown no more. Yeah.
You'd have to go with a darker color.
I'll do what that little kid said. Black everywhere.
Yeah, you could black it out probably.
Yeah.
You know what you do? You know what you do with that one? You black that one out and make the laces pink and blue for the podcast.
Purple and blue?
Purple and blue. Pink and blue. Either way.
See, we might have to get James to see how much he would cost us to do this. Because, yeah.
Cool.
And it's Rawlings, your favorite brand.
There you go.
So, well, I appreciate you coming on. And I feel bad because people that DM the podcast, if they only knew who they were talking to 98% of the time, unless it's a Yankee question, you were talking to me because he's sleeping.
Yeah, I sleep too much.
Yeah.
Working night shift does that to you, though.
Yeah. And and then when you asked the Yankee question, I'm like, I don't know. I despise the Yankees. But
there's nothing wrong with the Yankees.
97, 98, 99.
That sounds like a personal problem.
It is. It is.
But again, thank you, James.
Thank you.
And guys, next week join us back on the podcast for more shenanigans and tomfoolery between the two of us. So,
yeah.
Thank you guys, and until next time, Inside the Foul.